Thank you. Welcome everyone to the council meeting. Agenda, first thing I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5:31. Could I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Dornbos, seconder. Councillor Feeblecorn. All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Well, thank you, Councillor Hunt. I keep forgetting you're on the screen. You're
No
on-
problem. No problem.
I have to
As
look
handsome as ever.
I have to look up to the ceiling. I would like to call upon, Deputy Mayor, no, Councilor Marecki to read the land acknowledgement, please.
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge that the rural municipality of St. Andrews is located in Treaty 1 territory, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji Cree, Dakota, and Dene people, and the national homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect the spirit and intent of treaties and treaty making and remain committed to working in partnership with First Nations, Inuit, Métis people, and the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and collaboration.
Thank you. Item 3, adoption of agenda. Be it resolved that council adopt the agenda as presented or amended with the addition of the following items. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Sliker, seconder. Councillor Feeblecorn. Are there any additions or amendments? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Item 4.1, January 9th council meeting minutes. Be it resolved the council adopt the January 9th, 2024 council meeting minutes as presented. Can I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Dornbos, seconded by Councillor Sliker. Are there any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Item 4.2, January 15th committee, of the whole meeting minutes. Be it resolved that council adopt the January 15th, 2024 committee, of the whole meeting minutes as presented. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move those.
Councillor Hunt, seconded by Councillor Feeblecorn. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. Reception of delegations, item 5. I'd like to welcome St. Andrews Airport Board, Russ Paradowski and Zach Holden. We have attached your capital budget, thank you, and the operating budget.
Should I
If you'd
push
like
this
to
button
proceed.
here? Should I turn this button on?
No, you don't need to. No.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. We'll introduce ourselves again. For the record, I'm Chairperson of the St. Andrews Airport Board, Inc., Russ Paradowski. To my right is Zach Holden, our new airport manager, who's been on board for about 8 months now, 9 months, right?
Yeah, we're on that for manager at the airport for about 6 years now.
He's halfway through his mentorship program of 20 months. I think as of February, he'll be halfway through, so. All right, so part of our introduction, St. Andrews Airport is owned by the RM, of course. And under a transfer agreement between the RM and Transport Canada was signed back in 1999. The operation of St. Andrews Airport are managed by the St. Andrews Airport Inc. board under a management agreement with the RM of St. Andrews. The airport and St. Andrews Airport Inc. are exempt from income tax under the section 149 of the Income Tax Act. This year, 2024, marks the 25th year that the St. Andrews Airport Board and Management Team operate the St. Andrews Airport for the RM. This year also marks the 60th year of existence of St. Andrews Airport. We're planning a celebration of this with an event scheduled for July 12th, 13th. Our board has approved or appointed a committee to plan this event, which includes Councillor Marecki, who's also on that committee. It's been a successful 24 years of RM ownership, profitability, and growth, which are both anticipated to continue on for the near future and well into the future. Now let's look at the 2024 budgets approved by the St. Andrews Airport Board in December, starting with the 2024 operating budget, which council was sent a couple of weeks ago or 10 days ago. Starting with the revenue budget, revenue has increased. I'll just point out there's 3 columns. We have the 2023 budget, this year's actual results for 2023, and then the 2024 budget on the right-hand side. You'll see the revenue budget in total this year for 24 is $1,306,000, an increase from $1,116,000 in 2023, an increase of $190,000 or 17%. There's four main reasons for the increase. Number one, our rents have increased to $288,000, $113,000 increase. Two reasons for that. We have a new airline lease starting this year. It's $28,000. And the 2018 South Apron expansion, which this council or previous council approved and funded with a loan. All those leases are now signed and we're full projects fully occupied. So that's another $85,000 of new rent this year's budget. Second item that increased our revenues for this year coming is the common area cost recovery on old leases. It's now $18,000 for $486,000 to $504,000. Third item increasing revenues for this year are our fuel concession revenues. They're at $45,000 higher, from $323,000 to $368,000. And for two reasons, projecting increased air traffic at the airport, plus the new airline operating. And finally, our interest revenue projection is $15,000 higher than the previous year of $22,000 up to $37,000 this year, as we hold higher cash reserves and invest it with our bank. Moving on to the expense budget. Our 2024 expense budget overall increased to $850,000 from $803,000. That's only a 6% increase, $47,000. Reasons for our increasing our expenditure budget. Number one, salaries and benefits are up from $418,000 to $450,000. $32,000 increase. But there's a plus and a minus making up that $32,000. We've hired a new equipment operator. And less, we have a reduction in wages this year because we're retaining Craig as our mentor to Zach for only 1 day per week versus 2 days per week in 2023. So there's a saving on that side. But overall, our wages and benefits are going to $32,000. Facility repairs and maintenance budget, we decreased that budget from $91,000 to $76,000, $15,000 decrease. Because in 2023, we did the apron and taxiway line painting, which we do every 2 years. 2025, that expense will all be back on the books, or this category will actually increase next year. And will likely be including in that the painting of the lines for the park lot, the baseball diamond. So. Third item affecting expenses is equipment repairs and maintenance. Our budget is increased from $27,000 to $30,000. We've included $10,000 increase to cover major repairs on our snow blower that are required in 2024. Plus, for the upkeep of all our airport equipment, our budget is now $37,000. Advertising and promotion budget has been increased $10,000 also to $20,000 in 2024. And the main reason for that is us hosting the airport's 60th anniversary in July. Moving on down on the budget to net income before amortization, which is essentially our cash income. The budget last year was $313,000. We came in this year with a cash profit of $318,000, so we met our target. Next year, in 2024, we're projecting $456,000 cash profit. So $143,000 over and above last year's budget. That's a result of our revenue budget being $190,000 higher and our expense budget being higher than $3,000 increase. Moving on, less we deduct our depreciation and amortization not funded by deferred capital contributions. Any items purchased through Transport Canada contributions in prior years, there's an offset revenue that comes in to offset the depreciation on those assets. So there's an in and an out. So for 2024, that's the numbers of 206,520 and 206,520 of revenue coming in pay for that amortization. We however have our own amortization on assets the airport funded internally. So that's $115,000. So when we got that, our profit for projected for 2024 is 340,905. It's our financial statement profit projection. From that profit, we allocate every year 25% to the capital fund. So we're allocating in 24 $88,422 to the capital fund. Just to mention to everybody here, we meet every month, our board, and we do monitor these financial statements in detail every month, including the collections of our receivables. It's probably why we're on top of everything, and we do hit our targets every year. I know that's been going on for the last 20 years. Okay, let's now move on to the capital budget. That's the second page that is distributed to council. We focus on the highlighted column, which is the 2024 column. The top 1/3 of the capital budget is the ACAP related items. We don't have any ACAP related items in 24. ACAP stands for Airports Capital Assistance Program. That's an application process for funding for capital asset improvements to the airport for transport. This ACAP project is slated for next year, 2025, paving a taxiway for $448,230. Some of the recent expenditures to the ACAP program in the last few years were the runway sweeper, I believe that was for about $500,000, runway de-icer machine, and we did the runway apron lighting system. I think that was what, 6-7 years ago? Yeah, that was 2016. And that you can notice every time you drive by the airport at night. Beautiful lights.
Sure.
Now we'll move on to the middle part of the capital budget, and that's our capital projects we have planned for 2024. There's 5 of them. I'll ask Zach to just briefly comment on each of the 5.
So starting at the top, we've got the security gate. This one for lots B, A, and BB. In the past, we've had issues with incursions. So that's when a vehicle ends up on a taxiway or runway where they're not supposed to be. Often this is just people who are unfamiliar with the airport and have trouble reading signs that end up somewhere they're not supposed to be. So in the past, we locate where the problem areas are and we put up gates, and it generally eliminates most of those concerns. So we're going to be doing a few more gates this year. The next item being the front gate off Southgate Road. It's pretty rough looking. So we want to get something in there that's actually going to function if we need to close the gate in the event of emergency, and just make it a little nicer when you're coming into the airport. Moving along, the next item is the rotary cutter. This is replacing our old Schulte, which we actually got from the RM when they were done with it. So it's put in a lot of service and then some. It's kind of getting to the point where we're spending more money on it than it's worth. So we're going to go get a new cutter, and that'll last us a very long time. Apron one expansion, that's a big one. That is to allow the new air carrier to come in. So we're expanding apron one to the south. That'll allow this new carrier and allow another aircraft maintenance shop to be developed. So we will end up getting that money back in the long term because of the revenues we'll generate from that. The ball diamond, I'm sure you're all familiar with. So that 113,000 is our part of the contribution for the parking lot. I think that's it for those 5.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Just to mention, if you look at the 23 column to the left, there was 2 items we spent in capital last year, $17,000 on a security camera system. And we also did some of the apron one expansion. We tore down the old tower that's been sitting there for 60 years, I guess. That cost us $65,881. That whole apron one expansion, not only is it going to allow that new airline to operate and expand, it will also help us expand to the south with further development of hangars. So adding up those 5 capital projects for the year, they come to 330,224. Moving down the page and the highlighted column for 24. The 330 of capital projects, plus we pay to the RM, our capital loan payment for the year is 114,368. Our cash outflows for the capital account for the year are 444,592. Cash capital inflows for the year, we get $30,000 each year from the RM that goes into the capital reserve. 88,423 is that number we've seen on the operating budget, which is at 25% of the net income for the year we put into the capital fund. And roughly 20% of the AMC charges to tenants for maintenance. 1/5 of them go into the capital fund, so that's 102,436. So cash going into our capital fund in 2024 is 220,859. Less the items going out, the 444,592. We have a cash outflow at our capital of 223,732. We start the year with just under $500,000 of cash in capital, 299,071. So we anticipate ending the year at 275,338 plus whatever interest we earn will go in there also. Just to comment on the last line, 456,129 is our projected cash income for the year. And as you can see, when I mentioned we'll continue to be profitable in the near future. Next year, 2025, we project our profit to be 513,000, and 26, 599,000, and then 626,000 in 2027. Continuing on at those levels for the next 5 or 6 years after that. So that wraps up our capital and operating budget presentation for 2024. I'll just open it to any questions that the mayor and council may have.
Councilor Pivocorn?
With the addition to having the fire department at the airport, does that decrease any type of insurance for the airport
Does
or
it increase?
does it decrease any insurance? No,
I'd say no.
no, okay. I just wasn't sure in terms of response time or having that, I'm just thinking like of house insurance
Most
as
of
opposed
our
to the fire
insurance
hall.
costs are for our facility, our building, and for liability.
Right.
So it might decrease some of the tenants' insurance.
Okay.
All right.
Any further questions, council members? Deputy Mayor Darboss?
I just wanted to say, the airport is very well run. These numbers prove how well it's run. And, as you see in my committee report, a healthy airport is very good for the Arm of St. Andrews. So I want to thank you guys for doing such a great job, especially with the budget.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you as well, and we look forward to the Councilor Muraki's been updating council for the 60th anniversary, which is most exciting.
And we weren't socializing, we were actually talking about. That's a ban and whether we're gonna have a beer garden.
I vote for the beer garden.
Yeah. Is that even a question?
We're worried about guys flying in and drinking beer. Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here. We appreciate being here at least once a year, so.
Thank you, and we appreciate you both coming.
Right.
Yes, thank you all.
Have a good night.
Have a
There's
good
just
night.
one thing I could say is that this is only part of the board. There's a number of other people that are members of the board that give up their time freely and give a lot of experience and knowledge.
And we'll see you all from UGM, which will be at Larders this year.
Okay.
Changes then, it was hard to talk and listen and machine
Oh, you
shop.
couldn't hear that, the hangar, where were we in the public works garage? I couldn't hear.
Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Great job.
Next item, 5.2, sewer utility update, Director of Infrastructure, Peter Hillis. I'd like to call on you to give council the update, please.
Maybe I'll just, so I've asked Peter, we've had some questions on how many people are on hooking up to sewer and that, so I asked Peter to work on that on the weekend and just give you an update on that, and then he's giving you know, a little bit, additional summary information on the wastewater.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Wait for me for a second so I can share my screen here. And for the Windows tab, you have entire screen. I can see it.
So the airport is for 2 days, 1/12 to 13.
Great.
He said the airport
Go
festivities July 12th and 13th.
online version.
Oh, okay.
It's for
Yeah,
2
that's
days,
what I
Friday
heard,
and
too.
Saturday.
I don't know what to say. Aside, we're planning, let me put it to you this way, I'm planning the July 12th.
The Friday,
Friday.
because he said 12th and 13th.
That's fine.
I think he misspoke. It was 2 days, on the 60th, and I think that's what he was thinking of.
So you can minimize this.
That's Selkirk Fair Weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, we'll just move on.
No, Selkirk Fair Weekend is the 19th.
Oh, they
Yeah,
changed.
I'm
Yeah.
Usually the second week.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to read it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll move on to the next section and you can get that printed out
Okay.
and hand everyone a printed copy.
Okay.
Is that okay, Mayor? We'll keep moving on and Peter will go and make some printed copies of.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, next item 6, council reports. Thank you everyone for filing your reports. Does anybody have any questions of any of the reports?
You're on the screen, Peter.
Your
I
Dernbach?
just wanted to say, Councilor Mondor, thanks for the detailed report on your trip down to Fargo with the Basin Commission. It was nice to read.
Thanks.
I just have one question. Did they give usually Greg Gus, but he retired, gave a forecast on the flood?
No, there was a lady there from the American Weather Service, and she was giving a synopsis of kind of what we could expect, but really with the snowfall that's yet to come and the spring rains, we don't know. That's what she kind of.
Yeah, normally she took over from Greg Gus.
Yeah.
Okay, Deputy, Counselor Slaker?
I just want to say that I didn't do anything in January, hence why there's no report attached, but next time I'll, sure I send an email that says I didn't do anything in January.
Okay, next item 7, bylaws and policies. Council indemnities bylaw 4381, Schedule A amendments. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got mine. Sheets mixed up. Okay, everything is attached. The amendments for the committee listings. There's another change. Oh, no, sorry, this is the indemnities bylaw 4381. It's kind of the COLA increase is 1.8% inflation rate. Is everybody okay with this? Any
I have
comments?
a question.
Go ahead, Councillor Hunt.
Is this the Manitoba CPI, or is this the Canadian one? Because the Canadian one is almost 4%.
It's Manitoba, Manitoba in November.
Okay. So if you remember last year, you know, the inflation rate was 8 or 9%, and you know, every year it's been 1.5% That's the rate we've always taken. And then one year when it's higher to make up for other years, we put it back down to 3, I think, and now we're back down to a lower rate again. So we just FYI to council, we did move the rate last year. So
It was actually 8.2 last year and council agreed to 4%.
I understand that, but
Councillor like you, Jonathan? Oh, okay. Thank you. Any further comments? Okay, be it resolved that Schedule A to council indemnities bylaw number 4381 be hereby amended as presented. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Slaker, seconder. Councillor Mondor. Any further comments? All in favor? Carried. Seven point two, organizational bylaw number 4377, Schedule A and B amendments. They were all attached to the council package, and I also sent an email to everyone on the committee listings. Is there, I guess a mover. Be it resolved that Schedule A, organizational chart, and Schedule B, committee appointments to organizational bylaw number 4377 by hereby amended as presented. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Mondor, seconded by Councillor Marecki. Any comments? Okay, I'll take the vote. All in favor? Carried. Approval of accounts, item 8.1. Be resolved that council approve the January 19th, 2024 check detail report as presented. Could I have a mover, please? Beeble Corn, seconded by Councillor Deputy Mayor Dornbos. Any comments or questions? Councillor Slaker?
Sorry, I sent in an email with 3 questions on it and all 3 have been answered. Thank you.
All in favor? Carried. Correspondence for action item 9. Our meeting February 1st in East St. Paul. Be it resolved that we authorized to attend the R meeting, which is being held February 1st, 2024 in East St. Paul. Could I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Dornbos, seconded. Councillor Marecki. Who would like to attend? There's Rob.
Yes.
Councillor Murphy, Rob. CAO, Brent, and I'll be attending as well. So be it resolved, Mayor Sewell, Deputy Mayor Ken Dornbos, Councillors Beeble-Corn, Mondor, Marecki, and CAO Brent be authorized to attend the R meeting held February 1st in East St. Paul. All in favor? Carried. 9.2, Ford Distributors, Gravel Roads Academy invite on March 20th, 24. The information has been attached. It's about graveling roads. Be it resolved that be authorized to attend the Gravel Roads Academy, which is being hosted by Ford Distributors, held on March 20th at Lower Fort Garry. Is anyone interested to attend? I would like to go. Councillor Marecki and Councillor Slaker. Okay, so be it resolved, Councillors Marecki, Slaker, Mondor, and you have the right to attend. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move that.
Okay, Councillor Hunt, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dornbos, all in favor? Carried. Weed Supervisor Association, March 13th, 2024, seminar in Carberry. Could I have a mover, please? Counselor Moretty, seconder. Counselor Pivocorn. Be it resolved that be authorized to attend the Manitoba Weed Supervisor Association seminar on municipal weed control issues being held March 13th in Carberry. I believe while the Counselor Hunt is on that committee, however, he's not here. Counselor Moretty.
Just Lori's no.
For your information, the committee, thank you, Counselor Pivocorn. We're only down to one person because every other RM has one person attending. There's only two counselors.
No, I'll go.
Okay. So Counselor Moretty will be attending. All in favor? Carried. Next item is the correspondence for information. It's the Energy Report Board of Directors meeting minutes, Travel Manitoba newsletter. Any comments? Okay, move forward. We have no old unfinished business. New business, item 12.1, City of Selkirk Mutual Aid MOU, and that is attached. Be resolved that council accept and enter into an emergency management mutual aid agreement with the City of Selkirk that would see assistance transferred from city to RM and vice versa in the event local resources become overwhelmed. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Sliker, seconder. Deputy Mayor Dornbos. Any comments or questions?
This is an annual MOU that we.
Yes. Yeah. All in favor? Carried. Appointment of Deputy Fire Chief Matlock Fire Hall. Be it resolved that council accept the recommendation and approve the hiring of Kevin brackets KC Hope as the new Deputy Fire Chief of the North Hall effective immediately and as per the terms of Fire Prevention and Emergency Services bylaw number 4176. Could I have a mover, please? Counselor Pivocorn, seconder. Counselor Sliker. Any comments, questions? All in favor? Carried. We move into in camera. Be it resolved the council move in camera at 6:03 p.m. We discuss matters that are in preliminary stages and respecting which discussion in public could prejudice the municipality's ability to carry out its activities or negotiations as well as legal and personnel issues. And be it further resolved that the members of council agree to keep in confidence a matter that is discussed at a meeting that is closed to the public under section 152.3, and that the committee decides to keep confidential until the matter is discussed at a meeting of the council or of a committee conducted in public. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Pivocorn, seconder. Councilor Moretty, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. We are in. Thank you. We're now out of camera. Be resolved that council move out of in camera at 6:44 p.m. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Pivocorn, seconder. Deputy Mayor Dornbos, all in favor? Carried. We have two resolutions coming in from out of in camera. The first one being the St. Andrews City of Selkirk and MMF service sharing MOU. I'd like the CAO to just give a brief update.
So this MOU is in regards to a property in St. Andrews that could connect to both sewer and water, and the City of Selkirk would supply them. All three parties have to cooperate to get this to happen. There will be an actual contract that will be signed, but St. Andrews has recommended to the MMF Inc. group that they were anxious to get things going. And how do we do it? How do you move things going when there's three parties involved, and how do you get commitments into a contract and do your work while the contract is happening? And that's through an MOU. memorandum of understanding. So, we're going to, sign this MOU. The MOU will be, public, when all the parties agree to it. And, it will allow the MMF to, spend money knowing that, that there's commitments from St. Andrews and Selkirk to move ahead. And three great partners to work together and moving forward that, three partners that can be an economic force.
Great, thank you. Counselor Slaker?
I just want to say, it's my understanding that this is the old boys' school that is north of
Okay.
Selkirk. What is it?
We're in. Well, it's a property invested in by the
North,
Manitoba
yeah.
Métis
Yeah.
Federation.
North of
As the CAO said. Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, whereas the RM administration has been working with the City of Selkirk and Manitoba Métis Federation to allow for municipal services to be provided to the MMF property to prepare for new development. And whereas it has been determined that the support between the parties has created a beneficial relationship that shall extend beyond this project and provide the framework for future endeavors. Now therefore be it resolved that the RM of St. Andrews authorize the signing of the MOU with the City of Selkirk and Manitoba Métis Federation for cooperation to provide municipal services and other future collaboration endeavors. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Maunder, seconder. Councillor Mareki. Any further comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Next resolution arising from out of in camera is a water cooperative. I'll read the resolution first. Whereas the Arm of St. Clements and the Arm of St. Andrews recognize the importance of sustainable water management and the provision of high-quality water services to their residents. And whereas both municipalities acknowledge the potential benefits of collaborating to establish a water co-op for the efficient and effective delivery of water services. Therefore, be it resolved that the Arm of St. Clements and the Arm of St. Andrews will initiate discussions and planning to establish a water co-op for the development and delivery of water services with a focus on sustainability and cost effectiveness. Number two, the municipalities will engage in consultation with the Manitoba Water Services Board to seek guidance and expertise in the establishment and operation of the water co-op. And number three, a public information process will be developed to facilitate the process and gather information to be shared with the residents of both municipalities regarding the formation of the water co-op. And furthermore, be it resolved that the municipalities will work collaboratively to ensure that the development of the water co-op aligns with the regulatory and operational requirements outlined by the Water Services Board. Both parties will allocate the necessary resources and personnel to support the planning, engagement, and development phases of the water co-op establishment. Could I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Dornbos, seconder. Councillor Eagle-Corn. Again, this is very preliminary, same explanation as our CAO gave at the last one. This will take quite some time. This is just to get the process started.
I can add to that.
Oh, thank you. Please
Okay.
do.
So this is an opportunity for, the RM of St. Clements and RM of St. Andrews to work together. It's an opportunity to be in control of our own destiny, for services. I think an important thing for me to add is the CAO is to bring the water in. We would look for, funding to come from new development and for the water to be for new development. So important for existing residents to know that we won't be coming to them and saying you have to hook up for water. But in the future, the opportunity to hook up for water will be there. So the start of this to bring water into community will be with new development. There's also opportunities to bring other RMs on with us, but St. Clements and St. Andrews would be, I'm gonna say, calling the shots here on how the co-op would work. But initially, what we're doing here is council is allowing myself, the CAO, and administration to begin working with the administration of St. Clements to how this would work with the guidance of the province being involved as the third partner for funding.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Now we'll go back to item 5.2, sewer utility update, Director of Infrastructure for your report. Please, Peter.
Sure. Yeah.
Got one chance only.
Had it up before.
So as Brent pointed out earlier today, it's so he's asked me to just do a small report on get the wastewater connections to date. When I went through this development presentation, I thought it would be prudent just to give some background on the wastewater system. And then that will kind of give you the cursor for the sewer connection and where we're at today. So basically, overview of the timing of this presentation. We'll talk about the timing of the key events, and go through the high-level description of the wastewater system. Then talk about the summary of the charges on your wastewater bill that you typically see, and then some statistics on the number of connections and so on. So this all started in 2009 when the province initiated Red River Corridor designated area to put the moratorium and put basically a restriction on replacement and modification of existing septic fields, the construction of new septic fields within this area in the St. Andrews area, stating that we need to decommission, refrain the use of existing septic fields, and no new field would be permitted. And that would basically be to address environmental concerns and was considered a high priority to the province. And then that would trigger to basically establish formal framework with West St. Paul and the City of Winnipeg to develop a wastewater system to bring people onto to basically use the wastewater system and stop using their septic fields. Initially, I guess it was the public was given a 5-year time frame to come off the septic fields, and then that was extended to 10 years, being 2031 would be the last year that we expected to come off your existing septic field. So West St. Paul and St. Andrews have agreements in place to share costs to maintain, repair, replace, and operate the shared sewer line going from St. Andrews to the North End pollution plant. West St. Paul and St. Andrews also agreed to share wastewater test results. As our wastewater goes into the West St. Paul, it's all to meet the requirements, contractual requirements with City of Winnipeg. So we've also established a formal framework with the City of Winnipeg. St. Andrews wastewater utility rates were established, and they are composed of costs payable to the City of Winnipeg for wastewater treatment and any expenses incurred by St. Andrews utility for administration and wastewater conveyance. So construction of the main sewer line in West St. Paul was completed in 2015. And then a number of things got into play where St. Andrews received approval to get funding approval to build a sewer line to connect to West St. Paul to handle all the, I guess it's considered South St. Andrews area to hook up wastewater system from St. Andrews into West St. Paul to be, and that was completed in 2020. It's just a picture showing the high level overview of the system that we have today. When we first implemented the project, it was broken up into phase 1 and phase 2, which is indicated in the yellow and the blue. The green line indicates the main sewer trunk along Highway number 9. And it's also has 2 lift stations, one at Donald Road and one at River Road. And then it gets connected onto the West St. Paul sewer line, which is indicated in the red, which then connects to the rest of the way in black to the North End treatment plant in Winnipeg. So then I guess when you look at your bill summary charges, St. Andrews charges, so customers, so when we submit quarterly bills to residents in the area, it's made up of a number of items. So so the first part is the customer service charge, which is mostly the city of Winnipeg's portion of their customer service charge, and the small portion of the St. Andrews customer service charge, which amounts to $80.82 on a quarterly basis. And that's established by City of Winnipeg issuing a 3-year report laying out the charges. And then we look at our side of it to add charges as well, so that we are charging fully for the services. The second part is the wastewater rate for the usage. The City of Winnipeg wastewater treatment rate is $2.91, and St. Andrews wastewater rate is 66 cents over. So that's to cover off on administration and to operate the lift station and the wastewater system, which amounts to $3.57 for 2023. So this is an example of the quarterly bill that's submitted on a quarterly basis, and it's broken up into minimum charge. If you don't have, we've established a minimum charge. That's for wastewater usage. If you don't meet that minimum threshold, or you don't use enough water, you still are charged minimum rate of $28.88. And then the service charge of $80.82, which is the second line item, is the City of Winnipeg charge. And then the second part of your bill is basically your consumption, your usage, and which the two together amounts to your total charge for the quarter. So back in 2021, when we first started using the system, we estimated to develop all the I guess an estimate of the charges. I think they went to the Public Utilities Board to establish rates, and so that a lot of the rates that I previously talked about were based on 500 homes being connected within the next 3 years by 2023. And so to date, that hasn't been the case. So out of a total of 1,880 total connections, we're at 259 as of yesterday. So the chart shows the number of hookups per month on a monthly basis, and then so you can see the variation as we go through. We're expecting, I guess, initially They're expecting it to be completely different curve in terms of, started a little bit, slow and then gradually increase as we go to 2031. And, so this is kind of the challenge that we're looking at right now is, how we could change the curve, because right now it's very, very, flat. This is the chart shows basically the total fees collected based on the consumption and the service charges. Year 2021, we made just under $40,000. We collected just under $40,000. 2022, we collected $130,000. In 2023, we collected $205,000 in fees. And year 2024, based on the trend, I'm expecting somewhere around the 300,000, but that's yet to be seen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Counselor Slaker?
Your 200 to 300, is that money coming in from the people that we forced to have to pay on their tax bill?
Yes, that's.
They're not hooked up, they're just paying.
Which one are you referring
That,
to?
that would be your utility bill,
That's just.
those
your-
numbers. That's people that, the 252, 59?
Yeah.
The 259 that are on, that's the revenue that's coming from them off their utility bill. Not all that revenue comes to us, lots of it goes to the city.
77 or 78% of it goes of that money collected go to City of Winnipeg, mostly made up of their charges. We don't make too much off of that, I guess.
Well, you know, the alternative was for St. Andrews to be running a 24/7 plant of their own, right? So City of Winnipeg collects the majority of that revenue because they're operating a major wastewater plant and you know, the opportunity for St. Andrews to be on this, you know, if we want to look at the positive side of it, the opportunity for St. Andrews to be on it is we don't have staff working there 24/7. If there's a problem, you know, we don't have to deal with the problem of, I know, there's different things that happen with wastewater and water plants, right? That, you have to update, the laws can change and you'd have to update. So none of that's our problem, right? We put, sewage, wastewater into a pipe and the people that are on pay to put it in that pipe to send to the City of Winnipeg, and then the City of Winnipeg deals with the sewage.
Thank you.
That's pretty good, Brent. I like that.
I won't have any comments, questions? Go ahead.
Yes, I have some questions. What's the average cost per home, let's say a family of four, average water usage? What would the average bill be per quarter?
That's a good question. You mean on a quarterly basis?
Isn't that when this is being billed to people every quarter?
So the average, when I looked at a lot of the bills that were, I pulled from these, when I looked at a lot of the bills, it's coming in around, somewhere around the, $170 to $200 per quarter. Okay, somewhere in there.
Another question I had was, over the last number of months, there's been quite a outflow of money for replacement pumps and different various things in regards to these pump stations. And this has only been working by the looks of your presentation by about a year or two.
Yes.
You know, are we gonna be encountering these costs every year? You know, $8,000, just this one alone was $14,000 in sewer.
Absolutely. That's kind of the struggle that's the kind of challenge I struggle with as well is, Brent and I have had a lot of discussion already is, There's a lot of issues with the lift stations that we're dealing with on an ongoing basis. I'm working to try to do a lot more due diligence in terms of going through and making sure that we have maintenance cycles in place so that we can make sure that things are operating properly. Right now, I get the sense that that these plants didn't necessarily were not commissioned and weren't handed off to St. Andrews in working order. So we're on top of operating it, we're also trying to deal with trying to figure out how to bring them up to the level that we can rely on them. So right now we have pumps that are not that are breaking down, and those kind of things are typical. But there's other things like the odor control and those kind of things that aren't necessarily working in this climate. So we're engaging with a lot of the vendors that stand with the design engineer and with the vendor that made that product, that process, to see whether we can get it working properly. So the kind of thing that we're trying to do at the same time. So I expect that to answer your question, I expect that unfortunately, I think there will be more expenses coming to kind of to try to find solutions that will make these plants work properly, especially knowing that we're kind of at we have low connection rates right now.
So flow.
So we're trying to get it to the point where we can bring these plants up to snuff so that once we get the 1800 online, that we can have confidence that they'll work.
I'll just add to that Peter's being very transparent, right? He's telling you exactly what he's doing when he's in those plants. He's accountable. He's accountable for what's going on. He's paying lots of attention to it. And that's why Peter's here, right? And he's fully transparent, and he will tell you that when we encounter problems and how he's encountering them. And I have all the confidence in Peter, who's new to the RM. I have all the confidence that he's taking this ship, this wastewater ship, and he's turning it around. And he's really setting us in the right direction. He's had some big successes early, and he's encountered some problems too early on. And he's dealing with them. I'm very confident with Peter's doing it. We got an engineer on staff now that can deal with these kind of problems.
We're trying to implement accountability. So we're asking questions about looking at the bill and saying, did it really work that? There's two sides to that. So a lot of it is you get what you pay for. And so if you cheap out on something, then you can expect that it's going to be not going to be reliable. The other side of it is you kind of have to ask the right questions to know that to make sure you're getting what you paid for, right? And I'm not so sure that looking at the lift station, you went through that with the Petersfield Lagoon, start asking questions. People weren't expecting us to ask questions because there wasn't anybody here to ask questions previously that knew what to ask. Right. So it was very interesting to work with the project manager at the Petersfield Lagoon one, because they weren't expecting that. And so based on I had some input on that side to kind of make some changes and push back. But it sounds like St. Andrews didn't have that for the lift station. So that's it's almost like we're going backwards, trying to make some changes and fix things and try to for in the best interest of St. Andrews, right? So it's a trying to both at the same time.
So, of course, so if Water Services was the project manager, and what you say about the lift station, so are they not financially responsible for these excessive costs?
Well, they aren't because someone from St. Andrews signed off. Right? So.
Well, the Manitoba Water Services Board is working with us as well as Stantec. They're not abandoning us. We've been to plant visits with them and we're working through them. The vendors been to town a couple of times, you know, it doesn't have to, that company doesn't have to be, but they have a relationship with Stantec, uses them lots. So they've been coming in and working with us. We're, you know, we're making them accountable and I think we're.
You can make it accountable.
Yeah.
You can't make them accountable. How far back do you go with that, right? Because at some point, someone signed off on it, so we're kind of left holding the bag in terms of what we have for a product, which we have to make the best of and figure out how to move forward. Right?
The lift stations are good.
That's
They're good. I would say we're fine tuning, right? You know, Peter's rolled up his sleeves. He's got in there with his skills he has. He has Jason also on staff that Jason has become a wastewater.
He's taking ownership of them.
Yeah, so
And that's what you need, right?
yeah, so we have Jason from within who's got his ticket for wastewater too now. Peter's mentoring him and apprenticing him through this as he takes this. They're becoming more involved. We have a third a person from Public Works that's getting involved and we're taking ownership of these things and we're fine tuning. We're finding out best practices. We're talking to other places that have lift stations some of it's expensive, some of it's not. Like an $8,000 bill for a $1 million lift station isn't expensive, but we wouldn't want that all the time. But we're dealing with there's some odor issues there that we're working hard on right now to deal with.
Great update. Yeah, thank you.
With the lift stations, I don't know enough about lift stations to understand what is the reasonable cost to operate a lift station. So a $14,000 hit might be a drop in the bucket, or is it substantial for St. Andrews? I could see it being substantial because of our financial position, right? But if it's the lift stations, if it's running, we're trying to make decisions that are a long-term impact, so that the costs do become more certain, I guess, over time.
Thank you, Councillor Slaker.
Just back to what we talked about somewhere along the way here, there was a lot of checks when we first came into council that were going to out
Yes.
to fix stuff, and we were told that we would get that money back because it was under warranty. Did any of that come about, or I think somebody was gonna pick that away and look at that, or?
From what I understand, anything on the lift station is not under warranty anymore. I think it's a year. But I know there was, we had an insurance claim for lift station for some metering that caught fire and all that stuff. But I wasn't involved with that, so that was kind of before my time.
Okay. Yeah, just going backward,
Yes.
probably way before your time.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you both for all you inherited this. Thank you for trying to correct it.
We'll figure it out. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, that brings us to the adjournment. Be it resolved that the council meeting be adjourned at 7:15 PM. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Slaker. Seconder. Councilor Moretti. All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.